York City man released from jail after beating another man to death with a tire iron. And there's more. His charges now have been reduced. But before you judge, listen to why he beat the man to death. Take a look. Chilling video of a man beating to death an accused would-be rapist with a tire iron. Yes, police say on Monday night, the man's wife, Nene Gale Diallo, at home with her sister, heard a knock on her apartment door. She says this man, Earl Nash, forced his way in and tried to rape her.
He had with a chair, he threw her on the floor, and everything, for like 20 minutes. The fact that my aunt was there made it like a little easier for her to fight him off. So it was like a 2-on-1.
Miraculously, Diallo managed to get in contact with her husband, a cab driver, who rushed home and just barely caught Nash as he got off the elevator.
We come to the elevator, then we just see blood all over.
The beating so intense, Nash died, and now the husband faced assault and weapons charges. Today, supporters rallying around Diallo, even showing up at the courthouse to greet him as he was released without bail. On the record legal panel is here, former homicide detective and criminal defense attorney Ted Williams and former prosecutor Katie Fang. Katie, first to you. Would you have charged this man when he's brought in last night, and what would you have charged him if indeed you would have charged him?
Well, he was originally arrested for manslaughter, and I think by all accounts, Diallo was judge, jury, and executioner all on his own. Some might say that he saved New York taxpayers some money. A 19-time career criminal who was attacking, beating, and using a chair. I would not have charged Mr. Diallo. However, you still got to do an investigation. It might be a little bit preliminary to say wholesale you wouldn't have charged him right at this point, but it does sound like defense of others, which is a recognized defense in New York, might apply in this case.
All right, Ted, would you have charged Diallo?
No, I would not have charged Diallo. At some stage here, it's unfortunate that anybody dies, but I would have given Diallo a medal at some stage. The bottom line is, I think the prosecutors could have investigated this, Greta, and they could have then taken it to a grand jury. I don't think that they had to charge this man at this stage.
Where do you draw the line, though? I mean, it's like, you know, at some, I mean, you know, I understand defense of others, and I've raised it as a defense lawyer, but he made himself the judge and the jury and the executioner. Where do you draw that line?
Greta, you draw the line with what was going through his mind, the heat of the moment, what had taken place. He learns that his wife has been allegedly raped, just about slapped around. He gets upstairs there with a tie iron. He sees this guy with his shirt off going in the elevator. He goes after him. You draw the line also with the fact that self-defense may very well be in play here.
Do you have self-defense, Katie, with someone, one has a tire iron and the other does not? I'm not defending this guy, this rapist at all. Don't get me wrong. But, you know, one has a tire iron, one does not.
Well, it's a reasonable person standard that has to always be applied. And so you're right, Greta. Was it reasonable for Diallo to take the actions that he did? And if you look at the video surveillance footage, he doesn't really do any investigation, does he? I mean, as soon as he sees Nash get into the elevator, he whips out the tire iron and starts beating him. So I'm not quite sure whether defense of others will work. But you know what? Jury nullification will. You get this in front of a jury, you think a jury's going to blame Diallo for what happened? I don't think so.
And I don't either. And I'm always sort of playing devil's advocate with you because, you know, when I look at this, I think, I feel the same way everybody else does about this. But the prosecutor's job is a little different. It's not to feel sort of the emotion that we do.
Well, it certainly is. But I agree with you and Katie here. There's absolutely, given the facts of this case, you take that before a jury, they're not going to convict this man in New York. As a matter of fact, this guy was a career criminal. Now, of course, Diallo did not know that at the time, but when he beat him with that tie iron, he didn't know this guy was armed or what was going on.
And the fact that he's half-dressed corroborates the issue that he was trying to rape someone. Anyway,
give the man a medal.